right now. Basically, this is all they have left. Mike Dunleavy, second game of the season. Taj Gibson, Pau Gasol, Etuan Moore, and Kirk Heinrich, the starters. No Jimmy Butler, no Joakim Noah, no Nikola Mirotic. For the Charlotte Hornets, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Marvin Williams up front with Cody Zeller. And the backcourt, Nick Batum and Kemba Walker, both of them over 20 points last time out against the Wizards. Fred Hoiberg, things haven't gone the way he would have liked. First season as an NBA head man. Last year he was in the college game, coaching at his alma mater, the Cyclones of Iowa State. Steve Clifford presiding over a team that has dominated here at home. 18-9, those 18 home wins among the tops in the Eastern Conference. Expected to see Derrick Rose, but Derrick Rose surprisingly not in the starting lineup. It is questionable as to whether or not he even makes it onto the court. He didn't warm up with the team. Derrick Rose, the former MVP, dealing with an illness today. Hornets wearing their home whites. Marvin Williams flashes the three-pointer. Stephanie, we've seen that before.
And we love it. And we still have not gotten around to charting the team's success when Marvin makes his first three-pointer, but I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's always pretty good, especially when Cody Zeller's the assist man. Cody had Heinrich on him, put on the floor, drew the defense of Taj, and Marvin does what he does.
Whistle and a foul on Cody Zeller, bodying up with Pau Gasol. And not only are the Bulls with some of their best players, they're also a little bit leg weary. Dunleavy misses inside, finishing off a 7-game road trip. They've now played games in all 4 time zones since they last played in Chicago. Last time they were in Chicago, Illinois was January 27th, 13 days ago.
Bulls without 4 starters, but one thing they do have in that lineup is experience. Dunleavy, who missed, he's in his 14th season. Taj Gibson, 7th. Powell's in his 15th. Etuan Moore, the baby, the bunch, 5th. And then Heinrich in his 13th year.
Gosh, I hate when we start talking about that. It really makes me feel
Experienced.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cody Zeller inside of the feet from Kemba Walker.
And with that being said, you can put the ball on the floor and do what Kemba did. Get to the paint, draw the defense, and get easy shots.
Pau Gasol has been making that shot since 2001 in the NBA. Yeah, Jimmy Butler out with a left knee issue. He had a 53-point night back in January. He has emerged as one of the best players in the NBA. Of course, Derrick Rose was an MVP a couple of seasons ago. Joakim Noah, all-defensive team. Nick Batum hits the jumper.
You can see what the Bulls are doing defensively. Nick was backing down Dunleavy, and the double team came right away. MKG realized it, tried to fill the gap, so expect them to exploit that as the game goes on.
Good catch inside by Gibson, turns around and flips it home.
Gibson was a guy that was rumored a lot being traded. That was before Joakim Noah went down with a season-ending shoulder surgery. So Gibson looked like he'll be staying in Chicago.
Kemba Walker. Already 4 of the starters have scored for the Hornets. Williams, Zeller, Batum, and Walker all in the scoring column, just waiting on MKG. Ball poked away. Gasol has to shoot it. Shot clock down to 3. Hornets have the basketball, up by 5. MKG, all 5 starters have scored.
Right on cue. Everybody involved early. 5 of 6 from the floor are the home guys. And talk about the Bulls, 4 guys in the lineup. They haven't played that much together, but the experience that they come with will help ease that a little bit. These guys probably practice together a lot, even though they haven't started games. Except for Mike Dunleavy, only his 2nd game of the season.
Pass too high for Zeller. Numbers for the Bulls. Kemba very active, pokes the ball out of bounds. Take a look at tonight's 4 keys to the game.
Well, you guys, the Panthers' season's over, but the Hornets going to take up the slack. Got to keep pounding, and I mean the boards tonight. Rebounding will be very important. The Bulls #1 overall rebounding and #5 in the league at almost 13 a game offensive rebounding.
Pick and roll defense was my key. I thought that Derrick Rose was going to be playing and that the 1-5 pick and roll with Derrick Rose and Pau Gasol was going to be something to contend with, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Still important.
Oh, Heinrich, very good in screen roll as well.
MKG has the smaller Etwan Moore on him. Chance for a three-point play.
How about that? His first 3 years in the association, he was not even thinking about posting up a smaller guy on the block. Set him up nicely. Look, thinking he's going to go left. He turns over the right shoulder, hangs, and finishes his shot with the contact on the elbow.
5 straight for MKG. Lead is now 10. This is the start they're hoping for, taking on a team on the tail end of a 7-game roadie. Foul inside called on Cody Zeller. That's now 2 on Cody. And it'll be a quick hook. Cody will go to the bench, replaced by Spencer Hawes.
Checking in for Cody Zeller.
Spencer had 14 points off the bench against the Wizards on Saturday night. Look at those numbers. Both teams have taken 7 shots. Bulls only hit 2. Hornets hit 6. Those numbers change a bit. Pau Gasol leans back and drops it home.
Spencer has played well 2 out of the 3 games against the Bulls. The last game in Chicago, he had 14.7 rebounds in the win.
Gasol with the block. It stays with the Hornets. Batum, a 3. Got it! A little bit of serendipity. A block shot inside. The ball carried around, bounds its way to Nick Batum's hands, and he hits the three-pointer. This starting 5 has been really good so far through the first 5 minutes. All 5 starters have scored, and the Hornets' lead is double figures already.
Hot start. Hot chart, hot start. Hornets have been on fire. 7 for 9. How long can this last, Dylan?
Oh, that's spicy.
Only 2 Hornets missing shots. Now there's only one. That guy right there, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, leads the team with 5 points, but he also missed 2 shots. He's 2 for 4. You're not going to sneer at that.
I don't know how long it'll last, Stephanie, but again, the Bulls' 7th game of a 7-game road trip, leg weary, probably a little out of focus. It could be a long night for Fred Hoiberg and the crew if Charlotte continues to play like they have here in the first start of this game.
Well, that'll be nice. A nice bounce back from last night. I could use a little jubilation.
Spencer Hawes called for the last foul. Doug McDermott into the game for Chicago. Gasol with the miss. Here comes Kemba. Kemba splits the double team, finds MKG! Look at Gasol running the floor. More.
Thank goodness, because he's shooting about 40% from behind the arc, and you do not want to leave him uncontested. You have to know where your shooters are, even in transition.
Yeah, that short corner, Moore. He's making over 3 made 3-point field goals his last 3, so you got to know where he is. You know, this game is big other than a chance to get back to 500. You win the season series against the Bulls, so there's more for the triple, but you win the season series, and you never know. You end up tied, you win that tiebreaker.
Yeah. It's important. People talk about the regular season's not important in the NBA. Here's a perfect example of how it's very important.
Sure, Coach Clifford and his staff reminded the players of that.
Spencer Hawes gets the 3 right back. Now all 6 Hornets who have played have scored. Now the Hornets have experience blowing out the Bulls. Who could forget November 3rd? On this floor, 130 points scored by the Hornets.
Yeah.
They won by 25 on, at that time, a full-strength Chicago Bull team.
And Marvin Williams playing the killer defense, working down low, fronting for the position defensively. Draws the foul. Taj Gibson gets completely frustrated. Look at the right lower side of that block. And then Marvin's fired up, and rightfully so. The defense drives this team.
Aaron Brooks into the game. Kemba Walker fouled on his way to the rim. He'll shoot a couple of free throws. Aaron Brooks splitting the duties at the point guard spot tonight with Kirk Heinrich. With Derrick Rose apparently not in uniform.
Eric, you were talking about that game on November 3rd. Charlotte scored 130. They scored 30 or more points in every quarter, and they're headed to a 30-point-plus quarter right now.
I mean, you're happy if you get one of those.
Yeah.
2, you're doing great. But
right.
every single quarter?
Swarm 365 memberships for next season are available now, and you can take advantage of early bird pricing when you join by February 16th. Full season plans start at just $10 per ticket per game. Visit Hornets.com or call 704-HORNETS for more information. We've had great crowds here in this 4-game homestand.
Yeah, they've been amazing. The players have talked about that too. Help give them a little lift sometimes when they need it.
Good catch inside. Gibson scores on top of Kemba. 10-point lead for the guys in white. High off the window, MKG.
Goodness.
Wow.
That was impressive. I mean, Del, you could break it down a lot better with the shooting, but I mean, he had to put that high off the glass because his momentum kept him going, and he knew he had to get the nice soft touch off the glass.
Bad pass picked off by Batum. He's got MKG on his left. And he's fouled, and MKG got hit somewhere.
Foul charge to Chicago's 3. Doesn't make 2 minutes at the first foul. 13 foul for the Bulls.
Look at it, cross over and go all the way across the teeth of the defense, and then as Moore comes to give help, MKG notices it, throws it high off the glass. There's a hard foul by McDermott.
My goodness, it looked like he got his neck right his throat.
$22-year-old, no worse for the wear, hits the first free throw.
You know, last game, MKG did not get a rebound. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that will never happen again.
I would agree with you. I don't even know how that happened.
How did that happen? It was not because of lack of trying, I can tell you that.
A couple of changes. For the Bulls, Bobby Portis, rookie out of Arkansas, into the game. For the Hornets, Frank Kaminsky appears for the first time. Chicago guy playing against his hometown team.
The city of Chicago torn apart tonight.
Kemba. One and done, rebounded by Portis. Bulls are high on Portis. They think he's got a chance to be real good. Brooks was trying to draw a foul, didn't get the whistle. Hornets have the ball in the lead, up by 11.
Excellent. Excellent.
MKG, what a start. Double figures already.
That's exactly what we talked about earlier. They're doubling on Nick Batum. MKG realizes it, cuts to the open spot, and you know Nick Batum is going to find him easily.
Brooks scores off the window. Wonderful offensive first quarter for the Hornets.
Timeout.
26-15. Hornets on top of the Bulls, trying to take 3 out of 4 against an Eastern Conference contender. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, already taken 7 shots, made 4 of them. He's got 10 points in 9 minutes, taking over fourth-year pro out of Kentucky.
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, as Charlotte is up 11 here in the first quarter. MKG has come out on fire. Much aggression on the offensive end. Look at that fadeaway jump shot. Again, taking advantage of the small and more. Post up, turn on the right shoulder, knock it down while getting hit. Again, across the defense, fade away. Wow, you have to have excellent athletic ability to knock that shot down. Then moving without the basketball, Nick Batum finds MKG 10 points, 4 of 7 and 3 boards. He's off to a really good start.
I love to see that, especially after the game he had last time out. You know it was a subpar performance for what he wants to see.
Jeremy Lin into the game for the first time. His first shot off the back iron. Under 3 minutes to play first quarter. Hornets on top by 11. Hornets now had Jeremy Lamb into the game. Lamb, Lin, Walker, Kaminsky, and Hawes. Doug McDermott kind of evolved in his second year to purely a three-point shooter. As a college player, he was an all-around scorer. He'd take you off the dribble. He could post up. He was also a great outside shooter, but in the pros, only shooting jumpers. Spencer Hawes bangs it home. Second field goal for Spencer.
Well, talk about McDermott. Come on, this isn't Creighton, man. It's the NBA. He's playing against much bigger, quicker, taller guys. He is a heck of a shooter. But maybe his game will evolve. Remember, he's been out with some knee issues.
Over 3,000 points as a college player. That is a huge number. Look at Spencer Hawes. He's 7 points.
Continuing his hot trend, he has been playing spectacularly.
Aaron Brooks. Jeremy Lin is fouled, going for the rebound. Bobby Portis got him.
A loose ball foul. Charge of the Bulls, number 5, Bobby Portis. That's his first
Jeremy Lin.
foul.
First day of the Chinese New Year. In honor of that, wearing those red shoes. 3/4 cut shoes. Do you normally play in 3/4?
Are they 3/4 or low?
And it could be low. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I think they're low.
I trust the hunter eye.
That dealt with that fighter pilot vision. Notices everything. Jeremy Lamb. Kind of a flat-footed jumper for Jeremy.
You know, I am a global brand ambassador. I know sneakers, Eric Collins.
Very good point. Forgive us. We forgot about that part of your resume.
Etwan Moore. It's not the Etwan Moore we normally see. Sometimes kind of a 9th, 10th guy off the bench.
Well, hey, if you're out 4 starters, that 9th, 10th guy is going to get plenty of clock.
Kemba, three-pointer. Foul going for the rebound. It's going to go against Portis. Yep, Bobby Portis.
A loose ball foul.
Grabbing Frank Kaminsky. Kaminsky's in there putting in work. One white jersey with 3 reds on his back.
For them in the last 2 minutes, going to the line.
So Frank will be at the free throw line.
Kaminsky.
Frank has history with the Chicago Bulls. Actually, still active history. His aunt, it's his mother, is Mary. Mary Stack was her maiden name. Her sister, Karen Stack, was an elite college basketball player and transitioned to work for the Chicago Bulls. Still works in the Chicago Bulls front office. So Frank, nonetheless, no doubt about it, was a Chicago Bulls fan growing up, part of the organization by extension. Pau Gasol hits the three-pointer.
Wow, it's only his 14th of the year. He's only taken 32 now, 33. That's Kemba answers.
Kemba Walker makes it 35 first quarter points for the Hornets. Wow. It's like it's November 3rd all over again. 15-point first quarter lead. And the Hornets should get it back one more time. Moore lost it. Transition opportunity. Look at the numbers. 5 on 2. And now it's a fair fight. Lamb. Got it!
No, it's not.
The 5th three-pointer for the Hornets here in the first quarter.
At the end of the first quarter.
What a delightful first 12 minutes.
Chicago Bulls 20.
The Hornets are on their way. A quarter of the way home. Can it get any better than this? The Hornets leading the Bulls by 18, 38-20. Our happy first quarter stats presented by Mercedes-Benz of South Charlotte.
Gotta love the 58% shooting from the field, 5 for 9 from the arc. They're out rebounding the Bulls, which is a huge part of this puzzle.
Remember this right here, the bench ready to come in and participate right away.
That's first quarter, 38 points. It marks a new season high for the Hornets. Ties for second in points in any quarter. Hornets on a roll early.
Hornets playing with Pause, Lamb, Lynn, Kaminsky, and Batum. And Lamb is fouled, cutting through the lane. He was in the act of shooting, so 2 free throws for Jeremy Lamb. In that win back on November 3rd, Jeremy Lamb was the leading scorer for the Hornets back when the Hornets beat the Bulls 130 to 105, 25-point margin of victory. The Greensboro Swarm will be in action next season, and you can reserve your season tickets now with a refundable deposit of only $25. Visit Hornets.com/GSO Swarm for more information. Brooks, Portis, Doug McDermott, Cameron Bairstow, and Tony Snell, the 5 on the floor for Chicago. Hornets have it back. Pause. Pass corralled by McDermott.
Good deflection by Jeremy Lamb. Active hands on defense. Even if you're out of position, sometimes they'll get you a deflection, will throw the offense off just enough so everyone can recover.
And Tony Snell is fouled, and you heard the collective groan from the Hornet defenders.
That's it first. First team foul for your Hornets. And the line for Chicago shooting 2. Tony Snell.
I don't know. It must have been on the body, though, on that other side. Looked good up top.
Frank's a rook. That's all I can say. He'll be a rookie until his first game next year.
Yeah, it's a long rookie season.
Yeah, playoffs do not count.
Yeah, playoffs, a definite conversation in these parts with the way that the Hornets have played in recent weeks. Kaminsky missed everything. Coming into tonight, the Hornets 1 game below 500. They're currently the 9th team by record in the Eastern Conference, but within shouting distance of that number 8 spot, currently held by Detroit. We're going to see Detroit in Detroit the first time, a little bit after the All-Star break.
And not that far back from the Pacers, who we'll see 3 times in the next couple of weeks.
We haven't seen them yet.
No.
Only team in the NBA, the Hornets have not played the Indiana Pacers. Kaminsky lost that rebound. McDermott in transition. Portis misses the second shot. Hornets lead is 19. Things have slowed down offensively for the Hornets here in the second quarter, but they still have a comfortable lead.
Chicago is playing right into the Hornets' hands. This time, not one pass for a shot, but it's usually one pass and shot.
Portis with the block shot. Cameron Bairstow.
Who?
Yeah. Well, he's an Australian out of the University of New Mexico, and the Bulls back in the 90s had success with that pedigree. Nick Batum inside. Cameron Bairstow following the footsteps of Luke Longley, who was a starter on 3 championships in Chicago back in the days of the great Michael Jordan. Timeout on the floor. Already, the Hornets doubling their pleasure. 42-21 over the Bulls. Yeah, it's been a slam dunk so far. The Hornets all over the Bulls. 42-21. They've got their foot directly on the Bulls' neck. And next time we will see the Hornets here in Charlotte will be in a new month. Tuesday, March 1st. Hornets going to take on the Phoenix Suns. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. Visit Hornets.com or call 704-HORNETS for details. Don't feel bad for the Hornets. It's not like they're going to spend the entire next 3 weeks on the road. There is a week-long All-Star break factored in. And a foul called on Kaminsky or Hawes. It's called on Hawes. It'll send Bobby Portis to the free throw line. Steve Clifford will shepherd his team to Naptown. Take on the Pacers Wednesday in Indianapolis. And then the All-Star break commences. All-Star game will be played in Toronto. And we won't see the Hornets in action until the following Friday. I think that's the 19th in Milwaukee. Two places we haven't been to this year, Indianapolis and Milwaukee. Which one are you looking more forward to?
Is that a trick question?
Yeah, do we have to answer that?
Come on. Good Midwestern values. People will say hi to you on the street, I guarantee it.
I'm going Indiana just because we don't have to go outside to get food.
Hey, if I use that line, the Malachi Crunch in Milwaukee, everyone will get what I'm talking about.
Shlemiel Shamazel.
Someone's going to have to fire. Shot clock at 1. Lynn got it off in time. Snell, one and done. Lynn kind of dented off the backboard, rolls through. Jeremy Lin only had 7 points last time out against Washington, but 5 of those 7 coming in the final minute. He was money when it came to winning time.
How about that? I mean, that takes tremendous confidence as a player and as a team. The guy only has 2 points throughout the course of the game, and then he ends up with 2 big shots down the stretch to close it out.
Kaminsky faked the screen, stick it inside, and missed layup. He'd love to have that one back. Bad pass picked off by Batum. Gets it over to Lynn. Numbers, 4 on 2. And Hawes taken out by Doug McDermott.
I like the defensive effort, the rotating. Jeremy Lin got caught up on a screen defensively, closed it though because his teammate came over to help, so they had a trap in the corner. Nick Batum was reading that all the way, so he intercepted that pass.
And there's the trust. Nick, he reads that play. He is a low man. He's protecting the basket, but he trusts that he's got a teammate on the backside. He can rotate over, and his teammate slides right down. Everybody's on a string. Get the turnover.
I don't know if I have time to take a look at it. Spencer Hawes at the free throw line. He doesn't look at the rim until the last moment, and that's by design, Del.
I like that.
And he specifically doesn't look down or look up until he's just about to shoot it.
Well, whatever works. A lot of youngsters are taught, get your eyes on that rim, focus on it. Don't lose the rim, but everybody does it their own way. And the bottom line is whatever works.
Kirk Heinrich has it roll off. Another rebound for Hawes. He's had a monster first half. 9.6 rebounds for Spencer.
My goodness.
Both those numbers higher than his average for a full game. This may be the best chance for the Bulls to get back in it, playing with their starters again. Dunleavy hits the 3. Dunleavy, Gasol, Heinrich, and Gibson all starting. You got Snell coming in off the bench. Batum, the fadeaway is good. That's a difficult shot.
He makes it look so easy because he can use his height. And Taj Gibson, that was Taj Gibson. Wonderful defender on Nick, but the fadeaway off of one leg.
Gibson's a worker. Draws the foul. He'll go to the free throw line. Timeout on the floor. Nick Batum off to a nice start. He's got 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting. Also has 6 rebounds, 3 assists, leading the way as the Hornets having their way with Chicago. Here's a look at our fan of the game presented by Roll Oral and Facial Surgery. No reason not to smile. I know yesterday was a bit of a downer with the Panthers, but the Hornets are here to pick you up. Still got a whole bunch of the season remaining, and the Hornets with a good chance of catching on a roll and getting to the postseason.
That guy has a lot of gear on.
Yes.
Flat bill, jersey, stuffed Hugo, and the glow stick.
There's a lot going on, and was nearly a victim before Pops reached down and hit his hand away from the nose. Excellent waiver, though, he is.
Gibson misses the second. Hornets leads 20. Remember, they defeated the Bulls by 25 on this floor back in early November. Batum, Zeller, Lamb, Lynn, and Williams, the 5 on the floor for the Hornets. All 9 players that have gotten into the game so far for the Hornets have scored. And a foul going for the rebound called against the Hornets.
A loose ball foul. Charge of Hornets number 2,
Marvin Williams.
Substitutions.
Interesting to note, Marvin Williams hit the game's first shot, that 3-pointer. Hasn't shot the basketball since. Played 10 minutes.
Well, I think we got a little nugget working in the truck regarding Marvin
Crunching
and
numbers?
that first shot.
Actually, Marvin hadn't done anything else. No rebounds, no assists in his 10 minutes. Defensive breakdown results in a dunk by Gibson. Starting 5 for the Hornets back on the floor. MKG in run that wing. He's got the ball. Guys, MKG hadn't played a bunch. Injuries last year, and of course the shoulder surgery beginning of this year. Is it possible for players to improve when they're not playing, when they're injured and just watching?
Absolutely it is. Film work, spot shooting.
Etwan Moore.
Especially as young players, if you can watch yourself on film and then transition it to the game, you're definitely going to improve.
Timeout on the floor. Steve Clipper trying to turn things around. Lead is still 15.
Ball, Charlotte up 48-33 over the Bulls here in the second quarter. We've often wondered about Marvin Williams in that first shot. So many times he takes that shot and knocks it down. Well, here's how it correlates to victories for the Hornets. When he makes his first field goal, the Hornets are 16-10. When he makes his first 3, they're 11-8. And here is that shot that we're speaking of. Very first shot of the game. First shot from Marvin Williams. He drains the 3. Good omen for your Hornets for tonight.
Was that a Richard Houston finding?
Richard Houston had a lot to do with it.
And you. And a Stephanie Reddy finding. You guys work well together. Fantastic.
We got a good crew here.
15-point lead for the Hornets. A win gets them to 500, 26-26. Day off tomorrow, and then a game in Indianapolis to finish off the pre-All-Star game slate. Nick Batum now in double figures. He's got 11.
Cannot defend that shot. Just can't do it. Nick's too tall, too long, especially when he's got a smaller defender that shoots over the top.
We talked at the beginning of the game about how Nick has consistently played well in the 4 games against the Bulls this year. Kirk Heinrich hits the jumper. That's a 3. Del, from your playing experience, is that just a comfort zone? Is that a coincidence? Is it a matchup? Why do some players play well against certain teams?
Comfort zone, just a feel. As you go through your career early on, you play well in certain buildings against certain teams. Sometimes you can't explain it. But Nick is definitely a Chicago Bulls fan when they come into an arena.
He's like a matador. He's playing tricks on the Bulls. They see that red cape, he pulls it away.
You know, and sometimes it could be that team under that particular coach plays defense a certain type of way. They've got a defensive philosophy. So a smart player like Nick Batum, he can pick that apart all night long. Once he finds the weaknesses, he's going to pounce.
Now Cody will shoot a couple of free throws. Cody's going back home for the game on Wednesday against the Indiana Pacers. He is from Washington, Indiana. Not exactly suburban Indianapolis, but not too far away. He is a Hoosier State legend. All three of the Zeller brothers winning Mr. Basketball. That is probably the best thing you could ever do as an Indiana boy growing up. And all three, Tyler, Luke, and Cody, winning Mr. Basketball their senior season at Washington High School.
Oh, clear path. No question.
Kirk Heinrich just took the leg out from Kemba Walker.
So Luke, he's the oldest of the Tyler brothers, right?
Yes. He went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, he probably said, hey, boys, here's how you do it.
Here's your map.
Yeah.
They're going to take a longer look, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be an obvious call, right? Stephanie, you read on it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's grabbing his hand, his thigh right there, and there's no, they just announced it. Clear path foul, and it's under review now, but there's nobody in front of them. Nobody even close to crossing the half-court line. So I would assume the ruling on the court will stand.
And that means 2 free throws and possession of the basketball.
Yes. Not good for the Bulls. But, you know, back to the Zeller brothers. The Zeller parents. Can you imagine how proud they are of their boys and, you know, of all their children? But they wrote a book, Raising the Zeller Boys. I mean, how many parents can say that they've raised 3 children? Well, actually, we've got one right here that's cutting it kind of close with Del Curry. He's got 2 boys already in the league. And Sidell is quite an athlete herself on the volleyball side, so I guess you might be right up there.
It is indeed a clear pass foul, so it's going to be 2 free throws for Kemba Walker and possession of the basketball. Well, they almost needed to have professional athletes in the Zeller household after all those years of having to buy clothes that probably be custom made. You can't buy things off the rack. And think how much milk you need to buy to sustain 3 7-footers.
And damage to the home, too. I've talked to Cody about that. Some drywall damage. Can you imagine those 3 bruisers?
Look at that.
On a free throw.
It hit the front of the rim first. Wedged in.
Look at Pau Gasol, just ever the gentleman.
Pau said, hey, can we get this game over with? I'm ready to go home, like the rest of his teammates. I don't know if I've ever seen a free throw hit the front of the rim and then get wedged between the rim and the backboard.
Me either.
Kemba
I've seen
Walker,
a free throw kind of hit the front of the rim and then kind of just sit on the back
yeah,
heel.
Sure, yeah. Kemba Walker continues to do amazing things, even on a miss.
Kemba, top of the key. Is he fouled? Yep, Kirk Heinrich got him. This has not been a 60-second span that Kirk Heinrich is very proud of.
You can see he just comes up under him. I was actually nervous that Kemba was going to land on his foot, so you cannot run up under the shooter.
So Kirk Heinrich, his 13th year in the NBA, he basically has given Kemba Walker 5 free throw attempts and possession of the basketball in the last 30 seconds. A clear path foul, and then he fouls him shooting a 3-pointer. They always talk about coaches' sons being the smartest guys on the floor. Kirk's dad's looking the other way. His dad's a legendary high school coach out in Sioux City, Iowa.
Man.
He's like, I didn't teach you to do that, son.
Kurt's a smart player. I mean, that's just a point of emphasis. His momentum in trying to get a hand up on that shot carried him into Kemba. And then they argued the breakaway that Kemba kicked the ball before he stole it. But I kind of threw that pass into his foot.
Gasol gets 2 back and he's fouled. The Bulls showing a little bit of life here after just getting blitzed in the first quarter. starting to play a little bit. That foul on Cody Zeller hits third. So Cody will leave, replaced by Spencer Hawes.
All right, partner, I got a little trivia for you. Since we're talking about Kirk Heinrich, do you recall who he lost to national championship when he played at Kansas?
Oh, Kansas. Who's that? Nick Collison out there. Was that Syracuse? Carmelo.
Yeah, you go, partner.
And Hakeem Warwick hit the game-winning shot, not Carmelo.
That's right. Do you remember what city it was in?
Oh, I don't keep track of that stuff. No idea.
I'm going to take a guess. New Orleans?
Well done,
I was
Del
at that
Curry.
game.
What?
Yeah.
At the game. This dude's at every game.
Charlotte Hornet basketball. Hornets had a huge lead after quarter number one. They scored 38 points in 12 minutes, up by 18 at the beginning of the second quarter. At one point, the Hornets up by 22. Lead is now 15. Bulls basketball, 2:03 remaining, first half.
Two minutes until halftime.
Dunleavy has Kemba on him. Hornets have done a good job of getting deflections here in the first half. Another rebound, Nick Batum.
They're doing a great job defensively. Everybody's on a string, rotating together, helping the helper.
Skip pass, Etwan Moore. That's the first rebound of the game, Marvin Williams. Nick has Dunleavy on him. Kemba.
Wow.
Another one for Kemba Walker. 3 different Hornets in double figures here in the first half.
That was deep. Excellent setup, though. I love the way that offense was moving the ball, didn't stick in anybody's hands. Quick decisions were made, resulting in an excellent shot.
Kemba's now made 97 three-pointers here in the first half of the season. Shooting 36%. Marvin! Dunleavy, long two-pointer. And now the Hornets can hope for the final shot if they want to. Difference game clock and shot clock about 4 seconds. Kemba with room.
Surprisingly, a lot of room.
Gasol has to fire. And it goes. Gasol, his second three-pointer here in the first half. And that gives the Bulls a pulse. Maybe a bit faint, but the Bulls still with a pulse. Only down by 15 after trailing by as much as 22. Hornets leading throughout. Big reason why. Spencer Hawes, he's standing by with Dell.
Thank you, Eric. Spencer, wonderful first half, 9.6 boards. The Bulls have so many guys out. What was your mindset coming into the game tonight? You know all about injuries.
Yeah, we know they're at the end of the trip, so you got guys coming off the bench getting a little more of a role. You can't let those guys get going, and thought we did a good job early. We just didn't finish it very well.
Now, what's it going to take not to become complacent to finish this Bulls club off the second half?
Start of the second half. I mean, that's always big for us. If we can come out early, we got to get rolling and get our defense back locked in.
Thanks for stopping. Good luck second half. Eric?
Spencer Hawes, a wonderful job off the bench, spelling Cody Zeller, who picked up those 3 first half fouls. Hornets can't complain with the effort. They scored 57 points in 27 minutes. The lead is 15, 24 minutes away from possibly getting back to the 500 mark. We'll have a live halftime report from Time Warner Cable Arena when we return. Start quarter number 3. The Hornets comfortable right now, but nothing's in the bag. 57-42, the Hornets on top. Before we get our third quarter started, let's check in. Del Curry moments ago caught up with assistant coach Steve Hetzel.
Thank you, Eric. Coach, tremendous start to this game, a season-high 38 first-quarter points. Give us your assessment of the first half.
I thought we got out to a really good start. The ball was moving well. We got the ball inside out with dribble penetration. The second quarter, it kind of died out. We were taking quick early shots. We had a lot of good open shots that we missed. But if we follow the formula of the first quarter, we should be all right.
Bulls have a lot of injured guys, but they have a lot of veteran guys that are starting. How do you not get complacent to finish this game out?
Well, our goal is to get back to 500, so we can't worry about who's on the floor for them. The NBA is filled with guys that can win games. We just got to worry about ourselves and handle our own business.
All right, thanks. Good luck in the second half. Eric?
Thank you, Del. Steve Hetzel, former coach in the D-League with the Canton Charge. Actually, matched wits frequently with Pat Delaney, another assistant coach who's coached with the Sioux Falls Sky Force in the D-League. That's the way you start quarter number 3. Turnover, Kemba finds Nick Batum.
That's right, get the deflection defensively, turn that into easy transition points. I love what Coach Hetzel said, handle our business.
You mentioned the fact that this could get them to 500. I think that's a talking point. Steve Clifford knew that 500 was a possibility with a win tonight when I talked to him pregame.
Yeah, I love Coach Hetzel. It's not often that you could say, doesn't matter who they put on the floor, it's how we do. We have to handle our own business. So tonight's one of those nights. And I'm sure that message was relayed to the guys in white.
Kemba, his third three-pointer. He's 3 for 6 from behind the arc.
They're continuing to work that offense. Get in the gut, make the defense collapse, kick it out to your open shooter, and nail it.
Kemba with 98 three-pointers on the season. Pau Gasol with a bucket. Batum sneaks one into Cody. Extra pass MKG, nothing to do there. Marvin the 3.
I like that play though. MKG set a nice little up screen so that Cody could come down and hit that block. I hope we see that one again.
Gasol finds Dunleavy. Dunleavy hits the three-pointer. Watching that shot by Dunleavy, looks like he's a ball watcher too. A lot of times kids are taught, watch the rim, look where you're shooting. But some players, great shooters, look at the rim and then look at the ball in flight. Look like Dunleavy looked at the ball in flight. He's been a good shooter in this league for a long time. And bodies flying, a foul called on Kemba Walker.
No way, he got pushed from behind.
It's an offensive foul going away from the basket. Look, he's going away from the basket. Left his feet,
but
though.
look, right there, Heinrich with the left forearm in the back pushes Kemba into his own teammate.
That's a strange play.
It was really strange. Heinrich has been mixing it up a bit tonight.
He calls that one the Heinrich maneuver.
Waiting for that.
Another turnover. And the pass scoots out of bounds. Even too high for MKG to get. Now we still have a chance at history happening on this court tonight. Kemba Walker's got 16 points. He needs 6 more points to tie your former teammate down. Glenn Rice is next up. Glenn Rice currently 4th all-time in Hornets scoring.
Still Chicago Bulls.
Kemba averages 20 points. If he gets 20 points, he'll be right there. Heinrich. Rebounded by Batum. Hornets lead is 15. 1 point, they're up by as many as 22. In case you're wondering, last time the Hornets saw the 500 mark was January 4th. Up and in, Nick Batum, another 3. Deep. He's got 16, only missed 1 shot. 7 of 8 from the field. The Hornets were 17 and 17. Taj Gibson kept it high over his head and banks it in. Kemba. Bulls playing without Jimmy Butler. Bulls playing without Derrick Rose. No Nikola Mirotic. No Joakim Noah. Finishing off a 7-game, 13-day road trip.
Marvin is putting in work on that block defensively. He and Gibson are going at it, and Marvin is not giving up anything.
Dunleavy with the scoop and score. And a foul up high. Taj Gibson just bowled over Marvin Williams. This is what the all-time greats look like. Number 30 in your program, Del Curry, close to 10,000 career Hornets points. Far and away the leader of the pack. You got Gerald Wallace, number 2, LJ, number 3. But Kemba Walker, he's about to move into that 4th spot. Just needs a couple more buckets. He's currently 6 behind Glenn Rice.
Glenn, fill it up.
Heinrich, full head of steam. No whistle, bodies flying. McDermott, a little bit short, rebounded by Cody Zeller. Now numbers for the Hornets, 4-on-1. And before the shot, Kemba is fouled by E'Twaun Moore.
That was such an awkward fall. He's holding that wrist, Marvin Williams is. When he went up to block the shot, he ended up landing on Kirk Heinrich. And watch this. And they both go down very awkwardly.
Well, Heinrich really softened the blow for Marvin.
Until he kicked him in the face.
That's a good point.
The ruling on the floor is a clear path foul. That would be the second clear path foul that we've had in today's game. But they're going to take a longer look. Hornets had numbers, and E'Twaun Moore was just trying to stop that break any way he could, and he grabbed Kemba Walker.
He has an excellent defensive play. Look at that 4-on-1. Nick's going to have a rim rocker if Moore does not foul Kemba. I think he made a good play. I think he was out in front.
I agree.
And just like normal, we're wrong.
Well, that's why we sit up here and don't wear that uniform
right.
down there.
That's right.
But I agreed, Del. I thought he was ahead of him. Hey.
And the second Chicago team foul. Going to the line.
I think we'll be getting a email or text message from Joe Borgia any moment now.
What? We could guess.
We're not supposed to guess. We're supposed to know.
Well, okay.
Joe, don't send it.
Yeah, we're wrong, Joe. Sorry. We're the home team. We're supposed to want a clear path foul.
There you go.
Second time today that Kemba Walker has been fouled with a clear path in front of him. And the second time he's only hit 1 out of the 2 free throws. So the Hornets keep possession. Cody just lost it. That's a rare turnover for the Hornets.
Chicago 1.
Now 16 turnovers. I guess the turnovers aren't nearly as rare as they were in the first half. Just 2 first half turnovers. Now 4 turnovers here in the third quarter already for the Hornets. Gasol. Everything but down for Nick. Extra pass to Gibson. Flummoxed by MKG. Good late crash. And out the other end of the floor. Cleans it up.
You don't see that often that a point guard is going to follow up the play after a big goes to the hoop. I think Bulls got caught up in arguing with officials about that non-call.
Gibson blocked from behind. Kemba again fouled by Kirk Heinrich.
Kirk, please turn the palms down, please.
Foul top action to Chicago's 12.
Kemba right there, coming out the screen off your left.
The third Chicago foul.
Easy putback for the point guard.
Hornets.
Substitution for the Bulls. Bobby Portis comes in, replacing Taj Gibson. Hornets lead by 17. Their largest lead was 22. 2 more for Kemba Walker.
See you, Glenn Rice.
Ah, no, it's coming. I think he just needs one to tie it.
Not quite, Dell. I noticed that 3 of those guys on that list, though, were national champions as college players. Kemba, Glenn Rice, and Larry Johnson. What happened at Virginia Tech, Dell?
The 3 ball wasn't there yet.
Charlotte's up 19.
Rebounded, MKG. Skying over Heinrich.
Oh, look at this.
Cody a 3. His first one since November. That's the way you do it. He had been 0 for 9 shooting 3-pointers this season. Took a couple of months off from shooting long jumpers. Welcome back. 3-point line's your friend, Cody. Knock it down, 7-footer. Back in a moment.
Live Moss Hysteria moment presented by Taco Bell is the 3-ball by Cody Zeller. But what led to that open 3-point basket? First, look at the bench. Going crazy. Fans loving it. The ball movement. Your Charlotte Hornets work that ball inside, outside, around the horn, back in, back out. Cody Zeller knocks down the 3.
That's his second 3-pointer in his 3-year career. Had one last season. Only attempted one his rookie year, didn't make it. And after missing his first 9 this season, splashes that one. Gasol. Etwan Moore. Gasol taps it home. Gasol originally drafted by the Vancouver Grizzlies. Never played there. They transitioned to Memphis. Had a great year, great career in Memphis before heading off to LA and winning championship with Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. MKG, he splashes a 3-pointer. His 3rd of the season.
He made 3 for his career coming into the season.
Love his confidence now.
Dell, is it fair to say that the Hornets are seeing a big basket?
I would say so. I wish I was down there with my 30 uniform. I'd get to the 10,000 mark.
Well, maybe this is all because Fred Hoiberg made the decision to switch things around. If you're looking at your television set, well, don't the Hornets normally go the other direction in the second half?
Yes, they do. It's the visitors get to choose what direction they would like to start shooting at, which basket. And generally, coaches would like to have their defense in front of their bench at the end of the game so they can help talk their team through defensive switches, strategies, so that you can really hunker down. Occasionally, you'll find a coach who prefers to have their offense in front of their bench so they can help talk them through there. Hoiberg, obviously one of those coaches.
I would also think it may be because Hoiberg doesn't want the home team to have their defense in front of their home bench. You know, Steve Clifford's got to yell right now defensively if he sees something that he can help while play is going on.
I wonder about that. I mean, is it worth it? You know, like, does that outweigh the value that it brings to have your own defense? And if you're extremely confident in your defensive set, if it's strong enough. But as we all know, Coach Clifford has so many layers to his defensive schemes. I mean, in one single game, they could have several different strategies for the same play, depending on who's in and who's guarding it. In that instance, I personally would like to have my defense in front of me so I can help them through those little reminders chirping out here and there.
And coming into a game, you don't know whether the team is going to take which side of the floor until they come out to warm up pregame. So once that is established, then his assistants come in and say, hey, we're going to be switched for this game, offense and defense. Our offense will be in front of us in the second half. So it may cause minor adjustments in the game plan.
Aaron Brooks back on the floor, hits
2 points.
the jump shot. Bulls still limping though, down 23. Bulls finishing off a 7-game road trip and a foul before the shot. Cody Zeller called for the personal foul. He's now got 4.
Substitution. Cameron Bairstow returns for the Bulls.
Cameron Bairstow will inbound. Bairstow, Brooks, Snell, Portis, and McDermott on the floor. Those aren't 5 that you would expect to be calling out their names in the middle of a third quarter. If everything was equal for the Bulls, they are really depleted because of injury. Good save by Kemba Walker. Kaminsky, full head of steam. Offensive foul. Yeah, the rookie can't catch a break.
No basket, and offensive foul. Charged to number 44.
Poor fella. Cody Zeller sets that great screen to set him up so he has the drive away. But when you see the defense set up, you got to stop and pull up.
Spencer Holmes.
A little short bank shot right where that block is. That would have been an optimal decision.
Offensive rebound for Snell. Under 3 minutes to play, third quarter. This game has been dominated by the Hornets. Bairstow, his first bucket. Kaminsky is held. And a give and go with Nick Batum. Bulls sniffed it out and had to foul him. Would have been an easy dunk for Frank. Bobby Portis, personal foul number 4. 2:16 remaining in our third quarter. It has been all Hornets on a Monday night. Trying to win 3 out of 4 on the season against the Chicago Bulls. Looks like that Valentine's wish is close to becoming a reality.
Well, they're up big. Fox Sports is bringing all the fun of the Daytona 500 to your living room. Enter for a chance to win an HD TV to host the Great American Viewing Party for you and your friends. Visit foxsports.com/Daytona Day to enter. No, they will not be there.
What about you? Will you be there, Dell? Seems like you're kind of, where's Waldo? I'm expecting you to be there.
Yeah, I'll find out where we're at when the good race starts.
I've been to an Indianapolis 500. That was a sight.
Care to expand?
If you go to an Indianapolis 500, don't expect to leave early, man. They get about 400,000 people there.
Yeah.
One road in, one road out.
Long race.
Yeah, you get there in May, you come home in June. Doug McDermott off the window.
Doug McDermott.
First bucket for McDermott in 18 minutes.
2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Batum. Looks like more often than that, he shoots a three-pointer. He's leaning into it. Lynn sticks his nose in there, grabs the rebound. Lynn, Batum, Walker, Hawes, and Kaminsky.
A lead like this may be the last we'll see of the starters. Nick and Kemba. That pass.
Kemba is fouled by Brooks. That means he will go to the free throw line for a chance at history. If he makes both of these free throws, he will become the 4th all-time leading scorer in Hornets history. He will pass the great Glenn Rice. you're now tied.
Substitution returning.
This is Mom. Customary seats.
Very cute tops, too. Have to talk to her after the game.
There it is. Congratulations, Kemba Walker. Now only Del Curry, Gerald Wallace, and Larry Johnson ahead of you in all-time points scored in Charlotte history.
Tell you what, those 4 guys on the floor, I don't know if Kemba's getting many shots up.
Doug McDermott turns it around and scores. Del, kind of a weird question, but since you were around since the expansion year, do you remember when you became the all-time leading scorer? Because you were with the team the entire time, but I'd imagine you weren't the leading scorer after being 4 or 5, right? It took you a while to get it.
I don't remember it all. First player expansion draft, last one to leave, so let's do the math. I was here the longest. Should do something.
Bobby Portis timed that one perfectly.
So humble, Del.
I wish I did remember that.
Kemba's coming to get you, Del. He's coming to get you. 87 points here in the third quarter.
Kemba with 13 in the third.
Now this is what it looks like now. This is official. Kemba Walker, 4th all time.
Why am I the only guy in shooting form there?
Bairstow makes them both. Lead is 22. High water mark has been 25 for the Hornets. Bulls have never led. The only time they were tied was 0-0. Marvin Williams hit a 3-pointer to begin the game, and the Hornets haven't looked back.
Technically, 0-0 is not a tie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I had no idea. 24-second shot clock violation. And that's the way the third quarter draws to a close. Kemba Walker was historically good. Very good and making history. Kemba Walker now with 26 points and now 4th all-time in Hornets history in scoring. Hornets are close to having this one in the bag. They lead it 87-65, winning time when we return. 3 wonderful quarters here in Uptown. Hornets having their way with the Bulls, 87-65 our score. Take a look at our game summary presented by Mazda.
Kemba Walker leading the way with his 26. Nick Batum and MKG 16 and 15. Hawes with 11 and Pau Gasol leading the way for the Bulls. We knew that would happen, especially in light of all of their injuries. Nick Batum shooting 70% from the field.
Hornets start the quarter with a turnover, much to the chagrin of Steve Clifford. 1 starter remaining on the floor. It's Nick Batum. Batum, Lynn, Lamb, Kaminsky, and Hawes playing for Charlotte. McDermott got behind the defense, his 3rd field goal. Del, in case you're wondering, Doug McDermott, one of 6 players born in the state of North Dakota to make it in the NBA.
Really?
I'm allowed, right?
You are. Oh, wait, you'll still be a rookie, too, until our first game next year.
What kind of donuts would you like tomorrow? Bobby Portis. They like him. They think he's got a chance. Former McDonald's All-American out of Arkansas. Played 1 year with the Razorbacks. Batum. Brooks misses the circus shot. If you're just joining us, and you hadn't heard about the Bulls' injuries, they're significant. Already missing Joakim Noah for the rest of the year. Nikola Mirotic had an emergency appendectomy about a week ago. Jimmy Butler got hurt on this road trip. McDermott is fouled. And before the game, a surprise announcement that Derrick Rose is not going to be able to give it a go. He was originally expected to be in the starting lineup, but just an illness keeping him from playing. Those are 4 really good players in Rose, Butler, Noah, and Mirotic. You're not going to win in any venue with those 4 guys not playing. This has become one of the most difficult places in the league to win. With a win tonight, the Hornets are going to pick up their 19th home win. That's a huge number. And Nick Batum called for moving the backside. These are the guys missing. Butler, a 2-time All-Star. Noah, first-team All-Defense a couple of years ago. Mirotic, runner-up for the Rookie of the Year last season. And Derrick Rose was an MVP not that long ago. Even though it does seem like a really long time ago.
And with Derrick Rose in the lineup, you say, okay, we got a shot. All of a sudden, he's a game-time no-go. Heinrich around the point. You go from having a shot really to having to play out of your mind to get a win.
Derrick Rose was the youngest MVP in the history of the award. 2011, he won it as a 21-year-old. He was sensational. Then the injuries happened. Missed all of the 2012-13 season. It's really not his team anymore. Jimmy Butler is,
you're right,
by far the alpha male on this year's edition of the Chicago Bulls.
Pau Gasol will be unrestricted free agent. 35-year-old will be heavily sought after.
That's going to be interesting.
Kaminsky. It makes you wonder, is it possible for the Bulls, when Derrick's contract is up, is it possible to turn your back on him? He's a Chicago kid by birth. He's meant so much to the organization, but with his injury history, with the fact that he hasn't been the same player in recent years, do you possibly think of going into the future with him not on the team?
You better know who is going to take that spot. Now the replacement.
Spencer Hawes, a turnaround.
I don't see one on the roster right now.
All right. Yep. I mean,
So with that being said, do you try to move him? If you said, okay, we're going to, go in a different direction, you try to move him, get some value out of it. You just can't let him walk.
Bulls have let some really good players over the years walk away. Jeremy Lin is pushed. Aaron Brooks called for the personal foul. Yeah, a historic night for Kemba Walker. It's going to happen in a Hornets win. Kemba Walker, 26 points. He passes Glenn Rice on the all-time list. He is now 4th all-time in Charlotte scoring. Buzz City, watch your Hornets on the go through most cable and satellite providers. Just a few easy steps. You can go to the App Store, you download Fox Sports Go, you sign in using your TV provider username and password, then select Fox Sports Southeast and start watching your Hornets while on the go. Visit foxsportsgo.com for more information. It is a great resource. It's the wave of the future, I'm here to tell you. Get on board. You're going to love it. Fox Sports Go people in the building tonight. It is a wonderful, fantastic service. As I said, it's marvelous.
it is marvelous. I mean, but it's like you said, it's the wave of the future. It's the here and now. People are watching things on their devices now.
I watched the Super Bowl yesterday, obviously on a TV, but for the most part, my TV viewing always is on a laptop, using an app, all that kind of stuff. And Del, I know you watch a whole bunch of stuff on your phone, getting a chance to watch both your sons.
Absolutely. I don't know what I would do without it.
You wouldn't be able to watch your son.
Yeah, well, that would be a problem.
And your daughter, too. I think that is awesome. You can watch the volleyball games on there.
Yeah.
And a little bit of consternation for Steve Clifford. Hornets have only scored 2 points here in the fourth quarter.
Talking a lot about the Bulls injuries and Jimmy Butler being one of them. He has an all-star game appearance that could be in jeopardy.
Wave off the field goal, an offensive foul called on Spencer Hawes, clearing the way for Jeremy Lin.
Left side of your screen. Well.
Yeah, the wraparound with the
Right.
left. He was good until he put the left arm around the defender.
Fifth personal foul on Spencer Hawes. Bairstow. 6 points off the pine for Bairstow. Make it 6 points off the pine for Cameron Bairstow. Thing's getting a little bit dicier than it needs to be. 14-point game.
A lot of time still left on the clock.
And a foul called on the Bulls.
Oh, rookie got one. And look what Coach Clifford's doing.
Starters coming back in. Foul's called on Portis from behind. He pushed Frank. 2 free throws for Frank. They're going 4 for 4 for free throws. Number 5, a mystery. How about that? Number 44 was 4 for 4 at the free throw line.
We did not expect to see them come back in the game. Coach Clifford did not like what he was watching, and I would have to agree.
4 of the starters in right now for Charlotte.
Hornets have only scored 2 points this whole quarter.
3-pointer good for Doug McDermott. Kemba blocked away by Gasol. Gets it back. Good catch by Cody. And a foul. They're going to count the goal. Yes. Score it and the foul. MKG.
Didn't take them long to get things going offensively. This is how they did it, with a lot of movement. And this shot right here became because oh my goodness, somebody help me out here. Kemba Walker with the dribble penetration bounce pass, and then MKG with the putback.
That'll go as a rebound, a field goal, and a free throw for MKG. 2 days after going an entire game without a rebound, MKG now has 7 rebounds to go with 18 points. Nice bounce back for the former Kentucky Wildcat.
See the intensity MKG's brought back to the game on the defensive end as well.
Well, fans, the day after the Hornets score 95 or more points, receive half off the regular menu price of your entire order. All you have to do is enter promo code Hornets95 to redeem, and I'm here to tell you, 2 points away.
Gasol makes the first. Gasol didn't play 2 games ago. You see that wrap on his left hand. Did play in the loss on Saturday against Minnesota. But can you imagine where they'd be without him?
Ooh, up a creek.
They wouldn't stand a chance against the D-League team.
Whoa.
I apologize if that was harsh. Obviously a D-League team, very good, but they would beat a D-League team. You Erie Bayhawks out there watching. I can't go back to Sioux Falls again after that comment. Marvin Williams blocks it away. MKG everything but down, but Kemba gets the long rebound. Kemba!
Not a fair fight. Milwaukee best though.
Hornets get to that magic number. They've now got 95 points and a 15-point lead on Chicago. Southeast is the home of your Hornets. Wednesday, tune in as the Hornets take on the Indiana Pacers, led by Paul George. Hornets Pacers Wednesday, coverage begins 6:30 Eastern, only on Fox Sports Southeast, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Hard to believe it'll be the first time we see Indiana all season long. It'll be in game 53 of 82. This is an Indiana team that's going to be in the thought process of the Hornets in the weeks to come. They currently are among top 8 in the Eastern Conference. The Hornets currently 9. So the Hornets need that upward arc, and they need someone ahead of them to slip a bit.
Yeah, that's the beauty of playing your division games, because when you beat somebody, it serves two purposes. You climb up and you're bringing them down.
Yeah, I got some good news though. We'll probably get Big Al back after the break. Full strength for the first time all year.
Quite a prospect to look forward to.
Time Warner Cable Arena's got some real cool things to it. But for the most part, a lot of arenas are kind of blocked. Marvin Williams! Three-pointer for Marvin. He made the game's first field goal. Hadn't hit anything since. He now has 6.
But still very much engaged. Grabbing key rebounds, 2 block shots.
Pau Gasol has hit 3 out of 5 3-pointers. Finishing off that thought, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, where the Pacers play, is a unique building. And I look forward to checking that out.
Tough spot to play. Play well.
Marvin trying to get his. Misses from deep. Hornets leading by as much as 25. Comfortable right now, up by 15. Minor victory for the Bulls. At least they kept the Hornets starters in the game underneath 4 minutes. Foul in the backcourt called on Cody Zeller. If for some bizarre quirk of fate, this game goes into overtime, Bulls could have an advantage. More on that in a moment.
You can't even get it out.
Stay tuned for tonight's Hornets Live postgame show presented by your local town and country Toyota. Postgame analysis. We'll talk about the key plays, and we'll hear from head coach Steve Clifford. Fouls are starting to accumulate. Cody Zeller just fouled out.
Overtime?
Yeah.
Spencer Hawes has got 5 personal fouls. It's not going to happen, but if the Bulls force overtime, then all of a sudden the Hornets get thin.
I had the red eye back this morning. I thought I was the one that was tired. Overtime. MKG hit a 3-pointer earlier in the second half. Cody Zeller also hit one as well. MKG had to throw that one up. Shot clock was winding down, and another 24 for the Hornets to work with.
Nick Batum is just looking for 3 assists. He's got 16 points and 13 boards. 7 assists.
Those rebounds, a new season high for Nick. MKG, down. There's your exclamation point. Under 2.5 to play. Hornets gonna throttle it down. This is gonna get them to the 500 mark. First time the Hornets had been at 500 since they were 17-17 before the game against Golden State in Oakland, January 4th. Still, extra passes result in 3. And look at that. Nick Batum understood that Kemba Walker passed up an open three to give him a more open three-pointer. That is team basketball and why the Hornets are surging. Having MKG back doesn't hurt as well. MKG with a night, 20 points.
Let's take a look at tonight's defensive play of the game, brought to you by CPI Security. It starts off with this, the deflection. Spencer Hawes picks it up after Kemba Walker gets a piece of it, and then on the other end, they work it all the way around the horn and find Jeremy Lamb for the three ball, 3 of the 38 points in the first quarter. Defense leading to offense, that's the Hornets' way.
Exactly 2 minutes to play. Hornets, 13 points off of turnovers. Their lead is 18. With this win, the Hornets are going to take the season series from Chicago.
Under two.
Kemba Walker still on the floor. Hornets still playing with 4 starters. Probably the only reason Cody Zeller's still on the floor. He fouled out.
Yeah, this could be Coach Clifford sending a message. He's all about efficiency, effort, energy, smart basketball.
Another three-pointer for Marvin Williams, his 3rd of the night. He now has 88 three-pointers made through the first 52 games. It's been a joy to watch. Doug McDermott with the left hand.
Well, this game turned out a little different than I thought. Of course, I didn't know Derrick Rose wasn't playing until right before.
Tapped out by Aaron Brooks. Stay tuned. Tonight's Hornets Live postgame show presented by your local town and country Toyota. So many different things to talk about. This is the final home game before the All-Star break. The offensive explosion in the first half. The three-pointers that have been made. The Hornets taking the season series from Chicago. The possibility of sneaking up those standings, trying to get out of that number 9 spot. We'll preview the game on Wednesday in Indiana, a team we haven't seen all year.
2 points. Tony Snell.
Tony Snell buries the jumper. Long 2-pointer. So rate the homestand, Stephanie, ready?
A+.
Kemba draws the foul.
I mean, they started off at a B just because they got bodies back. It's going to give them a high grade anyway. But they've been playing good basketball.
And this hasn't been updated. Obviously, the Hornets still 25-26, but you can add another win. They're going to go to 26-26. That means they're just 1 game behind the Detroit Pistons in the loss column in the Eastern Conference standings. The top 8 teams make the playoffs. Indiana not too far away. They're just 2 games better in the loss column. With the loss, the Bulls are going to fall to 24 losses. And so just a 2-game or 2-loss difference there between Chicago and Charlotte.
Yeah, and looking at this, you mentioned Indiana. We've played them 3 times in the next 2.5 weeks. You can make a significant impact in the standings in that 2-week window. You saw how far apart the Hornets were from the Pacers. 3 games. I mean, if you can take some of those W's, that makes takes a big chunk out of that lead.
Yeah, the furthest west the Hornets are going to go the rest of the season is Milwaukee. You know, everything is going to be an Eastern Conference game for the most part, except for home games against Western Conference teams. So you can control your own destiny because you play teams that you're battling in the Eastern Conference for playoff positioning. Spencer Hawes just fouled out, so both Hawes and Zeller fouling out. And Kaminsky has to play the final 20 seconds.
Thank goodness there's only 20 seconds left then. Foul trouble.
Overtime would have been interesting.
It's a good game by the Hornets. They started off the right way, made a big impact on defense and converted the defense into easy buckets on offense, which led to an early lead. They pulled away and they kept them at bay.
Now the 500 record never looked so good.
Hornets win.
The Hornets finish off a wonderful homestand. They win 3 out of 4 here at Time Warner Cable Arena. And they now are at 26 up and 26 down. Officially a 500 team, but definitely trending upward.
Yes, and it's exciting to watch them. I mean, they're playing basketball the right way and right on time, too, because they're about to be back full strength.
Kemba Walker, a huge story. He gets 30 points, 13 of them in the third quarter. He now has 5,659 in his 5-year career. He has passed Glenn Rice. He is now 4th all-time in scoring in Charlotte history. The man who's number 1 is Del Curry. They're standing next to each other. Kemba Walker, our Sprite player of the game. Del.
Thank you, Eric. Kemba Walker, Sprite player of the game. Tonight, you played a depleted Chicago team. It seemed like you guys were not going to lose this game from the mindset in the first quarter. Is that correct?
Very correct. We wanted to come out, regardless of who was playing, we wanted to, we wanted to play with some great intensity and, just not look back. And I thought we did a good job from the beginning, playing great defense, talking, communicating, and, it was a big win for us.
This was your 8th game this season where you scored 30 or more points. I hope that water does not cool you off. You also are now 4th all-time in scoring in Hornets history. What does that mean to you?
Oh, wow. That's big time. I put in the work. I put in the work to, try and, be in the record books like that. And, man, I had no idea. So, I appreciate you telling me that, and hopefully I can, continue to, play well for my teammates, for myself, and this organization.
We're now 26 and 26, first time this year since we were 17 and 17. Is this team where you'd like it to be right now?
Yeah. I think we all playing some pretty good basketball. Getting guys healthy. Got to make a push. We got to make a push. One more game before the break. Try our best to, lock in, try to get a win on the road in Indiana. Get some rest in the break and try to make a push.
Another great game for Kemba Walker. Thanks for stopping. Congratulations. Eric.
Thank you so much, Del. Kemba was great. Nick Batum was his usual steady self, had another double-double. And what can you say about Michael Kidd-Gilchrist? Didn't have 1 rebound in the win Saturday against Washington. He gets 7 of them tonight to go along with 20 points. And the Hornets just lapped the field.